I can stop sharing the Twitter tab probably, right? Yeah, so this will be the current events live stream for August 18th, 2025. I'm just waiting for my Instagram to catch up here so I can start that broadcast. Okay, cool. So yeah, now we're live on the Instagram as well.
Oh,
Uh,
wow.
yeah, so what's going on, Jared?
Not
I'm probably
much. Not
going to
much is
ask
going
you to
on.
start with the Ukraine update. I think that's probably the thing we were teasing the last time, and probably the thing
Mm.
that's like I think we've been talking about the most, at least in our private Discord and whatever, in our group chats and everything. Uh, yeah, a lot of
Yeah.
stuff going
Uh,
on. A lot of things that like people in the West are not talking about. I don't know about you guys, but I know I've sent you some links about like Blue Sky and like it's a liberal, obviously just like shithole, and all those people are just totally in the tank for Ukraine. Like they all swear that Ukraine is just handily kicking Russia's ass. And I'm like, I don't know what you guys are basing this on, but I'd like since I'm not a bot, I just don't like what do you call it? Like collate or collect. Like I don't tabulate all the different headlines that I see over the
Hmm.
course of like a couple of weeks that like Ukraine is not doing well. I just kind of remember that. But like these people who are like the NAFO trolls online, they make it their business. Like I assume they're being paid, but like they do a lot of work to like just collect all these like links to their Western media sites that just say Ukraine is winning. Don't worry, you guys. It's almost over. We almost have Moscow. We almost have the Kremlin overturned. The rubble or the ruble's almost rubble. But since I don't do that, I just I count on Jared basically. So, what do you got for us, Jared? Like, what would you like to tell
yeah,
us
because
about the status of Ukraine now?
I'm a Ukraine because I'm a bit of a Ukraine war pervert. So I'm always watching what's going on with that war. But yeah, it is really interesting because like I have a lot of like liberal friends, and the only time I ever hear about the Ukraine war from them is when Ukraine has some kind of like massive success. Like they did that big drone attack a few months ago, where they
All right.
launched hundreds or like 1,000 drones,
Hmm.
and then people are like talking about it then being like, oh, isn't Ukraine great? But they don't, you to ask them about anything else in relation to the war. It seems like a lot of people have, like the average person here, at least, and it's probably the same in America, actually isn't really aware how badly the war is going for Ukraine because they
Mm-hmm.
only see the like successes that are like posted, the successes that are posted online. So it's yeah. I mean,
And will
like
only accept Western sources if you try to argue otherwise.
Hmm.
yeah, I mean I mean, some of the best information you can get is from Western sources anyway. Like, but you just got to know which ones. Like, I've been following this guy. I think I put him in the chat. We don't need to watch. We shouldn't watch the video because it'll take too long. But his name's Willie OAM. And he's just some Australian guy. He's a lib and he's a
Mm.
ex-soldier, so he's not going to be like he's not even pro-Russia, but he just covers the. He's not pro-Russia. Um, I don't.
Unfortunately.
He's. I think he's pro. I don't think he's pro anyone really. He actually he talks to people on both sides of the war. He has
Mm.
friends fighting on either side, because that's kind of one of the really sad things about this fucking war is that like Ukraine and Russia were once part of the same country, and now they're fighting each other. Um,
That
anyway,
should
so
make him
like
more credible. The fact that he's not like just blatantly on the side of Russia, like hopefully you would think that the liberals and all the people who are in the tank for Ukraine would give him more credibility. But like, of course, that's not going to be the case. Like, you have to also say what they want to hear, and then also be admittedly in the tank for Ukraine, and then maybe libs will repost your stuff, basically.
Yeah.
yeah, he covers it. He covers it pretty objectively, and just he's got a lot of different sources, like all those. There's a bunch of like open source maps and stuff that put that stuff together, how the front line is sort of moving. Yeah. So anyway, the that's where I get a lot of my information from is like Telegram and those maps and like people who put the maps together and like talk about it.
Hmm.
And this Willie OAM guy as well. You should check him out. He posts almost every day, even though he's got like a brain tumor as well. Like
Oh,
he's going
geez.
through like chemo. Yeah, he's going through chemotherapy and stuff, and he's still posting.
Holy shit.
Mm.
That's crazy.
Mm.
Did you want me to share this screenshot of like the chat? It was like basically like a summary you had given. I don't know if you want me to like
Oh
share that
yeah,
here,
yeah,
but
yeah.
It's like a
So like
PowerPoint.
yeah, so everyone to be aware that like um, Russia just had negotiations with Ukraine. I'm sorry, Russia just had negotiations with the USA and completely cut the USA completely cut Ukraine out completely.
Like,
So like,
can we just like for a second? I wish I could ask a Ukraine stan, like somebody who's like one of the NATO trolls, like, how do you even look at that situation and take any of this seriously? If you think that Ukraine's winning, like Zelensky's not invited to the negotiations, like it's just Putin and Trump, and Zelensky's literally like the cuck in the corner. Like, are you serious? Like, how do they possibly think this is going well for Ukraine if that is what's going on right now? Like,
yeah, I mean, anyone who says that like Ukraine is an equal partner
it's
to
like
the US or
it's
an ally,
ridiculous.
yeah, they're a proxy state, and it's just sad for the people who live there because their country's just going to be carved up between Russia and their country's going to be carved up between Russia and the USA, basically. Whatever's left after, like, okay, so these negotiations happen. Obviously, fucking nothing happened because nothing ever happens with these negotiations. I think we're all used to at this point. Like, whenever Netanyahu and there's Hamas and Israel talks, when there's Hamas and
I
Israel talks,
distracted
and then
Jared with
there's
the lower third with the scroll on the bottom. Sorry, bud.
yeah, that's like yeah, I see him. I have movement based vision, but like we're all used to it. We're all used to at this point that none of these talks ever go anywhere. So whenever we hear about like new negotiations for a ceasefire in Gaza or new negotiations for a ceasefire over Ukraine, it's like it never fucking goes anywhere. And surprise, surprise, this meeting in Alaska resulted in nothing. Like nothing changed. So yeah, Ukraine's fucked. It's not fun.
I'm not surprised. You know, it's a situation where, you know, you have they're kind of caught in the middle. You know, I mean, it's like it's cliche for me to say like, you know, between a rock and a hard place, but like, you know, Russia is objectively in the right with what's going on, you know, like it's they have to have a bulwark against NATO. They have to have some sort of like making a stand, right?
And that's not some kind of like moral justification you're making. It's just literally an existential crisis for the state of Russia. Like it would literally infringe on their sovereignty if they allowed the U.S. to build up Ukraine as a NATO client state just to hold arms and weapons there to threaten Russia with. And like that's why they always said it like from the start, and that's why even the U.S. generals said this will absolutely provoke provoke Russia to start a war, or do an invasion like they did. And they did it anyway. That was like the entire point, was to provoke that proxy war because that's what the U.S. wanted.
Yeah, and the U.S. is also, trying to basically stir a second Sino-Soviet split, in a way, like not Soviet because Russia isn't really communist anymore, obviously, but the fact that Russia and China are so geopolitically like linked now, with BRICS and all that sort of stuff, the USA wants to be able to like split Russia, and maybe
Trump
potentially
says it all the time.
Yeah, he literally says like, I need to unite them.
I think I can do it, and it's like, good luck, bro. Like, good luck.
Yeah, and with Russia being like its foreign policy has shifted so much within the last couple of years in terms of like really being on the side of the global majority, in the global South, to the point where having that bulwark against NATO, which is a fucking anti-communist, anti-socialist coalition, they have to have that for there to be any hope of further developments for the global majority, and for the U.S. to not. I mean, the U.S. is basically just flailing its arms, hoping that they can fucking get something done.
Also, never forget that like Putin, when the Soviet Union collapsed, and then you had the Russian Federation. But there was a guy before Putin. What's his face? Yeltsin. And then after him, Putin came into power. Putin was like, "Hey, we're capitalists now. Can we join NATO?" And they're like, "No, fuck off." It's like NATO is just it's a fucking joke. It's just a I don't even know. It's not even an anti-communist thing. I think it's just an anti. I think it's just an anti-Eastern Europe and Eastern thing.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't fucking matter whether you're capitalist or whether you're led by a communist party. It's just a way of keeping Eastern Europe poor and keeping Asia poor. That's and the Middle East, etc. Like that's what NATO's function is. It might have been a anti-communist thing at that point originally, but now it's sort of morphed into that, you know. So like, yeah. So just in regards to Ukraine, so like as I said, Willie OAM, great source. You should all look at him. He's awesome. He covers it in a very unbiased way. The main reason we wanted to talk about Ukraine was there was a lot of stuff going on about a month ago, but now there's been like Russia's done a penetration through Ukraine's front lines. It's like 20 kilometers in a straight line basically, and it's split off. Yeah, it's like a Y-shaped penetration that
Penetrated deep.
Yeah.
Come on, somebody has to do it.
Apparently the situation now is like stabilized, and Ukraine has moved enough forces, including Azov Battalion, who are Nazis, by the way. They moved them
No shit.
into, they moved those guys in. Yeah. So basically the manpower thing, Willie OAM, he talks about, he has his theory is, of manpower bankruptcy. That's his theory. And I think it's a very, very good theory to go with. So he's like, basically with an attritional war like this is, because this is a war of attrition. This isn't like maneuver war. Russia's gains every day are like a couple of kilometers, if that, or a couple of 100 meters. I don't know what that is in feet, but multiple feet. If you, not very far.
Yeah.
Anyway, so basically it just the front line will look very sort of stable with Russia moving very, very slowly, like a little bit up very slowly, and then eventually the Ukraine manpower situation will get so bad that it all just collapses at once and Russia just marches all the way through and wins. That's how a war of attrition works. And this 18-kilometer penetration is like going to be the first among many instances of Russia being able to just push all the way through and go some ridiculous distance into Ukraine that they've not been able to do before, like 20 kilometers, which is like 10, 15 miles. And the Ukrainians don't have the forces to stabilize it. It takes them days to get enough troops there. Because essentially on their front line, they have what I've heard is they have about 60,000 troops on their front line in Ukraine. 60,000 covering that entire front. The rest is just drone operators. So they're using just drones, and they have 60,000 guys with rifles on the front line. So there's massive gaps in the front line that the Russians can just walk through. That's how bad the manpower situation is.
That's so bad.
Yeah.
Now, I bet if I were to ask one of the NAFO trolls, they would probably tell me that Ukraine has an army of drones, like those videos you see out of China when they perform all those like drone light shows, and they have just an army of like 500 of them, all in this like coordinated formation. But I don't think that's what's happening. I don't think that they have like that many drones that are like securing the entire front line like the way that they wish is happening. Like they're obviously suffering from a shortage of manpower, else they wouldn't be begging every European country, like the rest of the fucking world, for all this like. So like the recent news that I've seen is that there's supposed to be some kind of deal the U.S. is doing that is going to be similar to an Article 5. It's basically like an Article 5 like NATO thing, as if Ukraine was in NATO, but just not officially. They're just going to give them just as many weapons and just as much support, but not. They're just circumventing it basically, and that's in addition to whatever Germany, France, and the UK are now doing to step up and give them weapons, because they're all just like pounding their chest. They're all acting like they're big badasses because they're going to give Ukraine weapons and like let them go to the meat grinder. Like you keep saying, it's like, again, the key ingredient being here, the people who have to actually operate those weapons, who have to fire them, who have to like to use them in some capacity. So it's like somebody's going to be in danger, and it's going to be Ukrainian people. Like everybody in the West is still doing the till the last Ukrainian thing. They're just not openly saying it that way. They're making it sound
they
like
were
brave.
The European powers were talking about sending troops, and in February, I think it was February or April, the UK officially scrapped sending 30,000 troops to Ukraine, and is now looking at sending them to be in a supportive role where they're not actually on the front line, where they're just training new. They're training new Ukrainian recruits. The only problem is that there's not fucking new Ukrainian troops. Oh, if you scroll up on this video, you can see where the penetration happened. See that little Y-shaped
whole
thing
thing.
there?
Holy
Yeah,
shit.
like that was like in a day. So that was yeah. But since then, at the bottom here, where the two lines meet, that's been cut off, and Ukraine are trying to
Okay.
close it off and kill the people in there. But like, it's just a sign of sort of where the war's going, where they can make these increasingly deep breakthroughs through the front line. And like the average, you got to remember the average age of a Ukrainian soldier is like 50.
Mm.
Like 40, they're in their 40s or in their 50s. That's the average age. So that's how fucking dire they're.
It's like Dean Cain joining ICE, but it's like Ukrainian. There's a parallel there, I swear. There's something going on.
Same fascist bullshit, basically.
Same energy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like they just don't. It's Jova. I can't make predictions anymore because like I'm gonna. Yeah.
Well, no, okay. So speaking of our friend Joseph here, different Joe, I think you have a good point, Joseph, saying it could just go on forever. Like, how much longer can this reasonably go on? I mean, all of Trump's presidency, reasonably, it could go on until the next guy gets in office. Like, there's no reason that it has to collapse anytime soon. Like, I think you're right, Jared, that like a war of attrition does have to end at some point, but that doesn't mean it has to be this year, the next. Like,
I mean, the way that I'm seeing it is, you know, the obviously Russia is going to have to get past certain lines. They're going to have this penetration here, and they're going to have another one there, and another one there, and then you know Ukraine is just going to be ceding more and more territory to Russia until there's like a ceasefire, quote unquote. Similar to how Israel was like, oh yeah, we have a ceasefire with like such and such territory, and then they just continue breaking through. Like Ukraine is not going to honor anything like that. And I think Russia being on the offensive in this situation, like Jared was saying, where they have to get through it and then push all the way through, so that NATO's only reaction to that is going to possibly be to siphon weapons and things like that, maybe from the U.S., though that's also declining now because, you know, I remember Trump basically saying like, all right, well, you guys need to start, you know, raising your taxes and taking away social funds and start putting that money towards weapons and bombs and military shit. They're like, you need to be able to defend yourself from Russia because you're, you know, you're a bulwark essentially.
Yeah, they want
and
Europe
the-
to.
Yeah.
They wanted Europe to spend a higher percentage of its GDP on its military budget. The only problem is it doesn't really matter how much money you throw at Ukraine or anything like that. You just don't have. There just aren't the people available to hold the weapons. Like you can throw as many weapons as you want in Ukraine, and that's not enough people to use them.
Yeah, and just thinking about it like geopolitically, like on the geography level, you know, you're going to run out of men, like you said, and then Europe is going to have to start sending people to the front, right? Like they're going to have to start sending people over. They're going to have to start sending men and weapons and arms and things like that at the detriment to their own economies, you know, because that war is still only really going to benefit the U.S. because the EU is subordinate to U.S. Economic interests, and Russia, you know, with it, Russia, from what I understand, has a pretty like powerful military. Like they're not applying all of their resources to this conflict. They have really advanced supersonic missiles. They have nuclear weaponry, but they don't. They're not applying the full force that they could.
Yeah, they're not like nuking Kyiv.
Yeah,
they're not like doing what they possibly could do, and that's the whole thing. That like, if you listen to anti-imperialists, you read Caitlin Johnstone, you listen to any of the people that like we listen to, they've been saying rightfully that like this has been escalating up toward nuclear conflict the entire time because the U.S. has never held back, like trying to be aggressive, trying to like saber rattle with Putin. Like they're treating this as if like Russia is not a nuclear armed country, as if it's not possible that they could do it. It's like annoying to say the least. Like they really should just take it more seriously, but like it just shows the U.S. is like what do you call it? Like arrogance, basically.
Hubris.
Yeah, it really is. And like the reason I stopped myself a second ago, Jared, is because it seemed like we were both coming at the same point. Like the U.S. obviously wants Ukraine as a bulwark, just like Russia needs it as a bulwark for its like existential, like it's an existential crisis for Russia, but it's just like a tool. It's just a pawn for the U.S. and the NATO empire, which is
Yep.
why like it's not even about like just a moral thing. It's just like how could you possibly be on the side of the empire with 800 like the way that it broke brains of people that I used to associate with, who now I like will just like give out their information online because I hate them. When like when this first started, and they were like, well, as long as this doesn't wind up with like a stronger Russia, and I was just like, I disagree. Like, why would you not want like there to be another power to at least stand up to the one empire that exists? And they were like, well, what you don't think like Russia is an empire or like any of these other countries are like I forget because they were not even like anti-imperialists. They're just like liberals. They wouldn't think about it in that terms, but they were just saying like, you don't think any of these other countries are like aggressive on the world stage or that they're like trying to dominate others? I'm like, well, how many others have 800 military bases? Like, how many other countries are this globe spawning that have their tendrils around like everything else in the fucking world, or have like the financial empire that the U.S. has? And of course, like they just stopped talking. They just like, well, I just don't want to talk about this anymore. It's like, well, what the fuck? Like, how people don't change their minds? Like, it really is frustrating that like liberals always get to that point of their cognitive dissonance and then just exit the conversation, but then do not change their mind. Like they literally cannot have their minds changed, and it's terrible. Like, what can you do with that? Like, I don't know. I
Yeah.
mean, you just have to like they take it as so much of a they take it so personally because it is their character. It's like they didn't arrive at these conclusions logically, so it's not like a it's not like something they're detached from. It's personal for them. So
Yeah.
the only solution is I just go with slobber ukulele. I got a shout
Yeah.
out to Flan Authoritarianism on Instagram. He came up with that or like said it to me the other day, like on some ironically Ukrainian post, and I think it's the funniest shit ever. It makes me laugh every
Slobber
time.
ukulele. Oh my god, that's so funny. I
Yeah.
think that yeah, I think that like the on the point that you're making about liberals in general, they they're so completely unequipped to handle the like ideological war that they're just um caught in the waves of essentially because you've got the United States fucking intelligence apparatus disseminating information and creating an entire like industry of information production that is used to create this like liberal worldview. Like it's very very deliberate, and you've got like that's why the joke of like actually communists are ableist because they don't like disabled people and stuff like this, and it's like an FBI fucking Fed,
Mm.
uh,
Oh yeah,
like that.
or that were
We
homophobic. Like,
yeah, like they joke about that, but that's like actually a thing that they do. That's real,
well, I
and
mean, it's what they believe. Like the whole anti-Russia hysteria over the last, like since 2016 has been so manufactured. It's so bad. Like it's so distasteful. Like it literally just leaves a bad taste in my mouth when you see the way that your average American believes that like Russia rigged the 2016 election, and then everything on that has happened bad in the U.S. is either loosely tied to Russia or can be like traced back to some kind of Russian influence somehow, or even if it's just organic here, it's reflective of the authoritarian rule of a past or present Russia. Like it's either communist Russia in the past or present Russia, which is authoritarian and fascist, but it's never just American fascism. It's never just American authoritarianism. It's never just the American culture as it exists. It's always, oh, what are we, a bunch of fucking Asians now? Like every time.
yeah, yeah, exactly. And the fact that like they use Russia as a scapegoat every time, like, oh my god, are you actually a Russian bot? Are you being paid by Putin himself to say all this crazy shit? And it's like, bro, can't you fathom that like the United States is this gigantic evil super empire that could blow up the planet in like a day? And to take a moral, not even a moral, just like a principled stance against that, you have to, understand that yes, there are camps, and I'm in the Russia camp, I'm in the China camp, because that camp is the one that will hopefully at some point subsume U.S. domination and U.S. hegemony across the world.
Yeah, if there are camps and we're doing campism, then I'm in the anti-imperialist camp, and I don't care if that makes me a campist.
Exactly.
That's fine. Like,
Exactly. Like, you know, and I remember, like, you and I, Mike, used to have we kind of butted heads about that many
oh yeah,
months back.
definitely.
And it's because, like, you called to my attention things that I had not been thinking about. And like, and I appreciate that, because that level of, you know, hey, you got to be self-critical if you're a communist. You have to be able to take what you think and look at it under a microscope and try to understand it in a bigger context and understand, like, the dialectics of the whole thing.
Yeah.
And so I want to say thank you for that.
I mean, I appreciate so much that you were able to just like change your mind about it, because it was like such a minor disagreement. Like, it was literally just that you were calling Russia imperialist, and you were still like on the same side that I was as far as the whole conflict is concerned. Like, you weren't disagreeing with me about any other detail other
Yeah.
than just like labeling Russia as imperialist. And I was just trying to explain to you that, like, what Jared actually paraphrased much better than I was patient enough to do, which is that Russia is still part of the global south. They're not part of the global financial elite empire that the U.S. runs. They're not part of like the financialization elite that like that consists of the first world, that where you get to like basically harvest labor and be a parasite on the global south through financialization. They're not part of that. They still have to sell resources, they still have to sell manpower, and they still have to exchange all that shit for US dollars, because that is still the global dominant currency. Whether we like it or not, that is the only empire that exists, and it is backed up by those 800 military bases and the brutal force behind that. And like, you just again had like a little bit of that sort of like latent, like, all big countries like kind of bad, like equally at least oppressive.
Mhm.
And like that thing that we all think, like, I don't think Russia is like a unfriendly government. Like, I don't imagine that like they're gonna have like great free speech rights or whatever. Like, liberal democratic values, like, probably is a little bit homophobic over there as far as I can tell from the culture. But like, that's none of my fucking business. And like, that also is not what makes them imperialist, not according to Lenin or anybody else who matters as far as like anti-imperialist thought or the camp is concerned. So it's like,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
again, that's why I appreciate you so much, because that's what makes the difference between you and a liberal who cannot change their mind and who takes it personally and then just will like literally cut off someone they've known for a long time and then double down on a racist narrative because they take it too personally, and they can't
Yeah.
bother to view like Eastern people, like Russia, Eastern Europeans, like anybody east of like whatever is the dividing line between Europe and the rest of the fucking continental divide they made up, so they can do their white supremacist bullshit. Like, they can't view them as human. They can't view them as like an equal culture. So they have to double down on the xenophobia, and it's disgusting. And I appreciate that you didn't do it. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's I think as a communist, it's important to be open-minded. And like, you know, it's our ego that I think gets in the way sometimes, like,
Yeah.
and that's a whole other like construct of liberal thought where we are
The way
like,
that's like
yeah.
the way it's commonly expressed is where they just go, "Oh, so you just think America bad, and you worship dictators, and you'll worship like any authoritarian, literally Putler, Hitler, whatever comparison they got to make." And then,
Staller.
yeah, what they're just trying to do is defend America, because that's what they want to do, but they won't frame it in those terms, so they just have to make anybody else seem worse. And that's really a stretch. Again, with the 800 military bases, like, how do you do that?
Yeah, exactly. And I just I want to say that I appreciate that, to kind of move off of that tangent, but like, I appreciate you, I appreciate Jared, I appreciate the fact that we're able to have that conversation and, like, you know, bring some information to the table and say, hey, maybe think about this, and you know, ideas change and minds change.
Hey, it's a small
It's
camp, but
solid.
it's great to have our comrades in it, right?
It's solidarity, man. Absolutely.
Oh, on a similar. Oh my god, fuck. Sorry. on a similar. While we're talking about how evil Russia is, I just watched the Superman movie, and I
Oh
the
yeah,
other
you want to talk about
day-
that? Because
Oh
I
my
haven't
God.
seen
I
it,
watched-
so I'll,
I watched
I'll
the
ask
first-
the dumb guy questions and I'll
Roast.
ask how like
Yeah.
the plots.
I watched the
ridiculous.
first half of the Superman movie till I got bored and stopped watching it. And then I was like, because I only watched it because Superman movies and Marvel movies are dog shit. They're not worth watching. But someone said this movie's pro-Palestine, and since we're talking about how evil Russia is, yeah, the Superman movie is just like. I don't know where the pro-Palestine narrative has come from for the Superman movie. It's very clearly the bad guy country, and the bad guy dictator is very clearly like a Russia stand-in. Like there's no
Yeah.
I don't see Israel at all. The country's called Moravia, so it's got
Okay.
like a kind of vaguely Eastern European name, and then the victim nation is called Jaranpur. Jaranpur, like these are
Yeah.
made up countries.
So vaguely
but-
like East Asian or something, or like West
Yeah.
Asian, like
Isn't Superman supposed to take place like on Earth? You know, I'm pretty sure, right?
yeah.
Hmm.
What the fuck? What the fuck?
Yeah,
I
it's
just
'cause
think
these
that's so
fucking
funny.
There's these fucking filmmakers that everyone was like, oh, Superman's pro-Palestine. Superman's pro-Palestine. It's like awesome. It's like, okay, well then fucking make the movie pro-Palestine. Show
Yeah.
me Superman fly into Tel Aviv and pick up Netanyahu by the neck and pop his fucking head off. Like, like,
Oh my god.
you know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah.
you don't need to speak through fucking allegories. You can just have Superman kill everyone in Israel, in the Israeli government. Like you could just do that if you wanted to.
I
But
mean,
like
what's-
these filmmakers are
A
fucking
little on the
little,
nose, but
little- It is on the nose, but like these filmmakers are fucking little cowards. So they make up a fake country to give themselves plausible deniability. But then like people see in it like this pro-Palestinian narrative. But then I watched it, and if you know anything about Palestine or Israel, you don't really see that. Maybe in the actions, but like you can apply that to any fucking apartheid or genocide that's happened. It's not unique to this one.
Yeah.
But then it's like, but then when you look at like what the dictator looks like, the aesthetics of the palace that he's in, it's clearly like a European, Eastern European guy. The country's called fucking Moravia.
Mhm.
Like,
Oh, man. I mean, that's
it's
yeah.
it's
that's
just so it's just so you can imprint on the movie any ideology that you feel like printing on it. And as much as I tried to imprint on it this anti-Israel narrative, it's just not there. It's just a fucking like, it's just it's Russia bad. That's all it is. So I
Yeah.
don't know. The movie fucking sucks.
totally unrelated, but I think the actor who plays Superman is super hot. He's so
Who's that?
gorgeous. Whatever his name
What's
is.
his name?
Anyways,
props.
He's also like he's also like Superman himself is also like a stupid fucking liberal as well. Like that's part of the movie. Fucking hell. I'm just like that's part of the reason why I'm glad Superman doesn't exist. Because if Superman was a real guy, imagine if he was just some fucking liberal. And he was like, because if he was, he'd be so easy to manipulate. He'd be like, he would fly into Libya and kill Gaddafi, and everyone would be like,
yeah.
good
Yeah.
job. Like he would be so easy to manipulate if he was a stupid fucking liberal, and it could like he is in this movie. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
it's
if,
just
if we haven't described it succinctly enough, that is the whole dynamic. Is that you just set up the framework to make the bad guys look like the good guys, to make them look like the liberators, or to somehow set up like an invasion to happen, so that it makes the defenders look like the invaders or whatever. And then you just present that material to all the liberals. They fall for it hook, line, and sinker. And then if anyone who's been paying attention longer or who has like looked into the history of it presents an alternative narrative, they get really angry and they just like take it personally and like will get even violent and like turn against the people to the left of them. But it just made so much more sense to me, Jared, when you explained that in the Discord earlier, that like this actually makes people hate Russia more, hate like the US's enemies more than actually it's some kind of like pro-Israel. Like the way that the fake controversy around it just seemed ginned up, like it just seemed fake. Like it
Yeah.
didn't seem like people really cared about it that much. But it just makes
It's just
way more
cult-
sense that it's anti-Russia. Like,
it's just more culture war bullshit. Like any discourse around movies or anything like that is just a fucking distraction. It's a distraction. It's all culture war bullshit. I mean, that's the whole culture war in general. Is it's just a distraction from like real issues. You know, if you ever go on YouTube or whatever, if you spend any amount of time on YouTube, you'll percent of the stuff on there is people getting angry because there's a girl in the boy show. The boy show has a girl in it, or there's a trans character in such and such a video game, or the character who is a minor in the show, the actress who is a minor, by the way, isn't sexually attractive
Yeah,
enough.
right.
The Last
That's
of
Last of Us. Yeah.
yeah, The Last of Us.
We
So
all
like,
remember that shit. That was so cringe.
yeah, it's
Bunch of libertarians.
Yeah, and even I feel really like cringe talking about it because I'm like playing into the culture war stuff by being like, let's debunk the blah blah blah,
Oh, right, yeah.
but like, fuck, man, it's just so tiring. It is so
No, I
tiring.
think the grander point is that like this is a Marvel universe or DC or whatever it is going to be funded and like have final cut note edits or whatever, like the script from the CIA, like literally from the Pentagon. Like they are going to have final say on what goes into that script because it's going to portray something about the US military in some way. So they're going to do that. Like they insert themselves, they don't allow it to happen otherwise. So it's like to think that this would be some kind of like countercultural narrative that's like getting snuck in there by the artist or whatever. It's like we don't have that level of culture here. We don't have that level of like narrative in our writing. Like it's not how it works here.
We don't even have that level of like
No, we're
freedom
not.
of speech. You know what I mean? Like we don't even have that level of like freedom over our own fucking creative, like our own creative identities, as people making stuff, because it's an entire industry. It's an industry of information creation and fucking entertainment being propaganda, like with fucking okay, yeah, the Zionists. That was the other thing I was going to talk about. That there were Zionists that were like seeing people talking about like, oh my God, Superman saved a country that, or was fighting a country that kills children and stuff, and they're like, well, why don't you just say that they're Israel then? Like, did you realize what you're saying?
You guys are telling on yourselves a little bit.
Exactly, it's a self report. And then the military is like bankrolling and then like signing contracts with all of these like Marvel movies and superhero movies and stuff like that because they have to be able to show like US military equipment. Oh yeah, we'll let you guys use these tanks and soldiers and stuff as like extras for the film as long as you don't say anything bad about the military, as long as you don't say anything bad about America. Like it's so fucked
just
up.
I'm just mad I was tricked into watching a Superman movie. Like, I'm just upset, to be honest. Because I have no fucking... I don't know if... Probably people watching this can relate, but, like, you probably have friends who are into these bullshit superhero movies, and they're, like, super excited to watch it, and they talk about it all the time, and I'm just like, they just suck. They're just bad. Like, it's just slop.
Yes.
It's
Yeah.
slop. It's like they're just such fucking trash movies. I don't know what is going on, and they're all just like it's all just propaganda, military industrial complex propaganda. I
Yeah.
wanted to talk about as well. Who said it down here? Petrutzel said that Bad Empanada made a comparison between people who support Russia and people who support Israel, and they're going to increasingly be seen like Zionists.
Yeah, that was a bad take.
Yeah, I saw that, and I was like, Bad Empanada. I was a Bad Empanada L.
Unfortunate.
Right
Hate to see
there.
it.
Yeah. He said because Trump said some shit about West Bank style occupation of Ukraine it's like, yeah, Trump says a lot of stupid things. Like what? Did anything actionable come out of that meeting?
I can't tell. I mean, from what I
Like,
can tell, nothing.
no.
Like nothing is different. Like
No, that's you know, if we're on the topic of like fucking distractions, as I mentioned earlier, all like ceasefire talks and negotiations and like war negotiations that seem to happen the last couple of years have just been like, as soon as I hear about it, I look at it and go, nothing will happen.
yeah.
Yes.
Nothing will happen here. They will meet, and then there will be like some like, and then there's like, it's just a spectacle because like, yeah, it's just a spectacle, and then nothing changes. Like in this instance, what happened is in Alaska, apparently one of the B-52 bombers or whatever the fuck those stealth bombers are called did a flyover while Trump was meeting Putin. One of the ones that bombed Iran did a flyover with like 2 F-35s, which I was surprised they allowed F-35s to fly that close to the meeting because they would probably crash and kill everyone. But like,
No, they weren't Blackhawks.
yeah. But like, yeah, they did that flyover, and everyone was like, "Oh, was this a power display by Donald Trump that he had the B-52 bomber or the Spirit bomb, whatever the fuck the stealth bomb?
The Spirit bomb.
Yeah, yeah.
Donald Trump, share your energy with me.
Yeah, and then they had the meeting, and they're like, "Oh, what was the vibe like at the meeting? How was Putin? What did Putin say? What did Trump say?" That nothing actionable came out of this meeting. By the way, not a single thing came out. All the talk was about: did Trump look strong? Did Putin look strong? It's just like, and this is like, I put this in the same category as like cultural war bullshit with movies. Like, this is like the Marvel movie. These ceasefire negotiations,
dude.
like the Marvel movies of negotiations. Whenever
It's
they
theatrical,
happen, yeah,
It is
Yeah, the fact
absolutely
that like
theatrical.
liberals are getting so upset about the fact that like I saw them flipping out that Putin rode in like that limo with Trump, and they're like, well, that's like a like they literally were postulating that he could have put bugs in it. Like he would have put like like Putin himself would put a monitoring device in Trump's limo. Like he needs to do that kind of thing. It's like it's just like it's silly, and it's just like I can't even say that I'm frustrated at this point, and I can't say I'm surprised. Like these are the pig people. These are the people who overlooked genocide. So for them to get upset about this meeting with Putin, that is just like these are the same people who, like, when I asked for evidence in the 2024 election for like Jill Stein being a Russian Putin bot or whatever, they would show me pictures or video of Jill Stein sitting at a table with Putin at this like public meeting. It was like this conference of like tons of world leaders and all these people. And for some reason, she got sat at a table like 2 seats away from Putin. They were like, "Well, what do you think?" I'm like, "What do you mean? Like, what you think that's where they did all their plans? Like all of their plans for world domination of like the U.S. so that like Jill Stein could be like this secret like Putin puppet to prevent the Democrats from winning the election and throw the election for Putin. You think that's where they planned all of that? Was at this banquet? They were there for like an hour in front of everybody. They didn't even talk. You can like see the footage. Like they didn't talk to each other other than like hello and whatever else they might have said like briefly at the table. But like that's where it happened. That's where they passed the secret documents and all the plans. That's where she became her KGB secret like Manchurian candidate or whatever. Like what the fuck is going on in these people's heads that they're upset about this shit and they don't care about a literal genocide? That's why they're the pig people, and I don't want them to get healthcare or anything better. Like they're bad people. Like, and they're just dumb. Like they're really dumb.
Treatlerites.
Like, how stupid do you have to be to care about that shit? Like, yes, the meeting between Putin and Trump, and then because they rode in a limo together, that's where the collusion is happening. That's where all of like that, and I'm not. You know how homophobic they're being, you guys? Do you have any idea how homophobic they're being when they're talking about Putin and Trump right now on Blue Sky? Like, do you have any like these progressive liberals who are like all LGBT friendly? Do you have any idea all the blowjob jokes they're making between Putin and Trump?
Man, I just like it's so far beyond the pale for me.
We're the
Like
homophobic tankies, though.
the liberal mind. I cannot fathom it. You know, it like the fact that they will look at this kind of shit and the most like they are only superficial beings who look at pictures and memes all day, you know. And like I'm not dogging anyone who loves memes because I'm a guy who loves memes.
Yeah.
But read a book. Read a fucking book.
Do you have any idea the amount of backdoor meetings that actually take place where like people who actually do wear suits meet up in conference rooms and they just don't turn on a recorder? They don't take minutes of these meetings. They may not even follow the Robert Rules of Order, believe it or not, at these other meetings. But they have secret meetings and they do collude outside of their official meetings that you see in public. And that's where shit actually happens. It's not like at the public banquet in front of all the reporters, believe it or not. Like,
Exactly. It's all PR, you know? Like the Trump is grabbing Zelensky by the genitals.
did he put Gentiles on purpose? Because that's also funny. Like,
Oh, I didn't even I got fucking dyslexia. I looked at that and saw genitals immediately.
it's probably supposed to be that, but it's funny either way.
Oh my god. Oh dude, I
Chapel
literally
Roan.
made a video talking about another guy. Totally selfish plug. I made a video about D'Angelo talking about Chapel Roan on my YouTube channel, Joseph Ryan Banks, and the whole thing was him being like, Chapel Roan said both sides are bad, like Republicans and Democrats are both bad, and that's actually fence sitting, and that's actually not useful because you need to vote for Kamala Harris. And I was like,
my
this
God.
is some fucking brain rot. This is so brain rotted. This is a L liberal take, and it has nothing to do with anything. I stand Chappell-Roan. I'm going to go on record saying that.
I mean, that's fine.
Great musician. Anyways,
Jared, you sent that link in the chat. Did you want to talk about something that was in the Discord? A different thing?
Oh yeah, I sent the. This is probably old news, but do you guys remember the Jubilee?
oh yeah,
Oh yeah.
Jubilee
I
video
mean, I
with-
think we are still planning on doing an entire stream of just watching however much of that we can get through in 2 hours. Like, we won't get through the entire thing, of course, but like, we'll comment a lot. But like, I do.
Yeah.
What did you want to bring up about that in particular? Anything?
Oh, that I just had that screenshot of. I just had that screenshot of him being interviewed after the Jubilee
Oh, that's
video
what it was, okay.
by some like liberal YouTuber, and Mehdi Hassan is like, "What I didn't expect is such open racism towards me."
like
Yeah,
Let's see.
you know, we're kind of talking about how fucking useless liberals are, and how they're just not ready for what's about to happen, and it's just it's just crazy to me that here we go. It's just crazy to me that this is a direct quote from. I watched this video as well. What I didn't expect was open racism. Mehdi Hassan's takeaway from debate. It's like, what the fuck did you
surrounded by
expect?
Republicans. Are you kidding? Like what
Yeah.
the fuck? Like that's so naive. You know, like that's the only word I can really think of. It's just liberal fucking poop brain.
We'll have to watch that video
Yeah.
sometime, because Jesus Christ, it's such an old news now, because like if something happened more than like a week ago, it may as well have been a century
Yeah.
ago. Like it's yeah, people forget. People have very short memories these days, but yeah, that video was a wonderful display of how useless liberals are and liberal ideology is.
And then
Mehdi Hassan,
the-
who just happens to be good on the topic of Palestine, but he's just a fucking liberal, and even when he talks
Is he not
about
like kind of a normalizer?
Palestine,
he
he's like I've a lot of these pro-Palestine figures are just normalizers, really. Like Hassan Piker the other day did a thing. I'm not talking about the him
I mean, we
having
did
a
have it
Zionist on his show.
a topic.
Yeah. Not him bringing. I'm not talking about him bringing the Zionist on his show. I'm talking about earlier. I watched one of his videos and he was talking about Israel. He said something about Israel in its current state shouldn't exist, and he says things like that. He started saying more things like that, where he's like implying that the existence of Israel at all is okay. He will say, like, he used the specific term Israel in its current state shouldn't exist,
Is this
Like,
Mehdi
which
Hassan or Hassan
sounds
Piker?
like he's saying
Okay.
Hassan Piker. So Hassan using sort of normalizer language,
Yeah.
and I'm sure Mehdi Hassan is also a normalizer. He probably doesn't have a problem. The thing is, a lot of these like these so-called pro-Palestine voices actually don't have a problem with the existence of Israel. What they have a problem with is the genocide is happening a little bit too like loud. It's a little bit. It's making
Yeah,
them
I mean, again,
uncomfortable to see the
To
genocide
reiterate
happening.
what should, I guess, be the obvious thing about it, it's like that's the reason to read non-Western media, to read global South sources, to read like anti-imperialist sources, is because the bias of Western media and Western white supremacy means that you do not get to have a career in media, whether you are Mehdi Hassan or Hassan Piker, without some level of being a normalizer. You don't get to be at that level without talking about Israel as if it's just something that exists and there's nothing else that can be done about it, and it's only a matter of like gently reforming it to be a little more humane to the indigenous people that they're exterminating. Like, regardless, like that is the furthest left you can get in the spectrum of debate, even regarding this issue that we're saying. Like, Mehdi Hassan and Hassan Piker, mostly good on Israel and Palestine, because they will call it a genocide and they will like flat out call out Israel for like what they're doing. But at the same time, they're still just going to, at the end of the day, normalize the state of Israel and like talk about the whole thing on that like Cenk Uygur or like Morning Joe level, like CNN kind of MSNBC. He's on an MSNBC show right now. So yeah, like that level of discourse is what you're going to get from them at the end of the day, because they can't have a media career and then say the kind of shit we're saying. They can't say death to the IDF. You know what I mean? They can't say like globalizing to like Jared. You probably can't even say that. I probably won't be able to say that in another 6 months.
No, I can't. I can't say. I'm not sure if I can say death to the IDF or not, but there's certain phrases in Australia that you will actually get arrested and hit with terrorist charges if you say. And also, like if I waved a Hezbollah flag in public, I could go to jail for 2 years.
What the fuck?
That's for support of terrorism,
Bro, waving an Israeli flag is supporting
Yeah.
terrorism.
Well, yeah.
Oh, but that's okay.
That's fine.
in Australia.
And platform and also for all the fucking libs and rad libs and people that enjoy Hassan Piker, they can watch his stream where he platforms Zionists. He literally brings them on and has conversations with them and says like, "Well, what do you think about Palestine?" And they're like, "Oh yeah, it shouldn't exist." And he's like, "Well, are you sure about that?" It's like, no, you cannot fucking have like a reasoned conversation with these people. It's utterly fruitless. And it's not going to push the needle forward at all. You know, like Hassan is one of these people that, you know, I remember, Mike, you had a post that was like, you know, someone talking about Hassan Piker, like, you know, he's a socialist that is really rich, and it's like, you know, that's kind of not good in his specific situation. And, you know, we can talk about that, but like, what am I saying?
I just love posting, just as a preface, I love posting negatively about Hassan because I know that my audience is still a lot of like Hassan crossover people who like have found the tank pill by some way or another. So I love just like driving that conflict and like really just shitting on Hassan because it's just like it will definitely drive engagement. They will start commenting a lot.
Yeah.
But it also just
And
really
people-
helps me like out the rad libs. Like that's a really quick way to find out who just is in this for more free healthcare or whatever, and who actually wants like the end of empire.
Yeah.
The biggest defense of him all the time that comes up is like, oh, he's a funnel for people to more radical politics. It's like, no, he's fucking not. He's a funnel to de-radicalize people. That's what he exists for.
He's a release
funnel-
valve.
Yeah, he's a release valve for radical politics. It's like, and also that you're not being funneled into Marxism-Leninism because if you watch what he does, he's just constantly shitting on anyone to the left of him.
Did he try to get people to vote for Kamala before the election? Like that's all I needed to know. Like because I wasn't keeping up with him around then. Like I was paying attention to other things. But like, did he eventually just funnel people into voting Kamala, or was he like full on?
He kind of pretended to be anti-voting. He kind of pretended to be anti-voting Kamala, where he was like, "Oh, I don't blame anyone who doesn't want to vote for her," but he would never outright come out and say, "Don't vote for this bitch." Like he would just be like,
"Yeah, the safe stance."
Yeah, he would take this basically safe, really safe fence-sitting stance because he doesn't want to upset his audience who are just fucking liberals because he's a fucking liberal. So he's just figured out that he can be a liberal who uses like radical language to make the funnel of people that he kind of captures with his stream a little bit wider. But people seem to think that means he has some kind of radical politics. He doesn't have radical politics. No one who makes $200,000 a month has radical politics.
Yeah. I mean, like that's the thing that I was kind of thinking with, you know, it's a very
$200,000 a month. Sorry,
that's so crazy.
Is that did you say that originally? You said 2,000. I thought.
Yeah, I meant $200,000 a month is how much money.
I was gonna say 2,000 is not that much. 200,000.
Anyone who makes anyone who makes $500 a week is bourgeois. That's it.
Yeah, and like, you know, I wanted to say that, like, you know, well, Engels, you know, you'll hear the counter to that where it's like, well, Engels inherited private property, right? Like he had a factory, but he was at a time where he could directly understand the contradictions and had them all laid out bare for him to analyze with fucking Marx. You know, like he was a intellectual like Hegelian, you know what I mean? And Hassan Piker is a dude with a fucking lib audience, you know? Like he's a guy with an audience that he has to maintain the audience. He has to always stream every single day. He has to make sure that his audience stays with him and doesn't move on to more radical people, you know? Because if you start suggesting, oh yeah, go read this guy, and you'll start disagreeing with me, he's going to lose out on funding and fucking his personal gain that he gets from the whole thing.
Yeah, shout out in the chat to Ramiro de Trinidad says he had Bernie and AOC in his show openly supporting them. So that's what I imagined. That's how far left Hassan is right now. He's on the anti-oligarchy tip, which is like just literally sheepdogging people back into the Democratic Party.
Yeah.
The next midterms and then the next general election.
Well, I saw him interviewing Rashida Tlaib and be like, I didn't watch the video because I couldn't fucking care less what anyone in the Democratic Party has to say. But like, the title of the video interviewing Rashida Tlaib like condemned the Democratic Party for supporting a genocide. He's like, where can the Democratic Party go from here? It's like kind of a, how do we fix the Democratic Party? And it's like, are we
the trash?
Yeah.
Yep.
The dustbin of history, like
the Barbara pit.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. I mean, like, fuck, man.
The thing with the Democratic Party is that they are a party of war, just like the Republicans. They are a party of austerity. They are a party of bourgeois dictatorship. You know, like they are not your friend. Whoever is listening and listening to this and watching this fucking podcast, do not vote Dem. Never vote Dem.
Oh man, it's like
just so you guys have the option to just not vote. Like, I'm surprised anyone still. I'm surprised as many so-called leftists do vote when you just have the option to not vote.
Dude, not voting is more helpful than voting. You know, at least you can have a clear conscience.
I really lost like I lost a lot of people when I like. This like somehow caused a bit of a stir. Like I remember saying in the 2022 like midterms, I was like, just stop voting. Like, what are we even doing here? Like, how are we even taking this voting thing seriously? Like, are we really doing this? Like, it's gonna reduce harm or whatever. And people gave me so much shit. It was on like a live episode, like a stream like this, and then like literally Brett from Rev Left. I'm pretty sure I brought it up on our podcast or one of these streams before, but like Brett felt the need to bring it up. He was like, he didn't call me by name. He was like, you know, a podcast that I've associated with who was like a little less serious, like because we just had like a tanky shock dog show. It's like what we called it. And I'm just like, he like called me out and he was like, not by name, but just like obviously referenced what I had said. And he's like, yeah, I just can't really truck with that kind of line of just like, don't vote because it's like not going to lead to harm reduction. And he did the same old kind of thing. And it's like, that really, it's like, I still love Rev Left and like all the stuff that Brett puts out. I think he's like, unlike Hassan, he is actually a valuable tool for the left. He's actually a valuable mouthpiece for people to turn them into more radical. He's not Hassan. He's not like a bourgeois socialist, quote unquote socialist, who's just like literally grifting off of a bunch of wage slave rubes, which is what Hassan is doing. Like, I think Brett is actually earning the money that he gets from people on his Patreon or whatever he's doing, which is why I'll never list him as like my grifter list or whatever. Like, I'll never, like talk shit about him like on my public platforms the way I do with people that I do not respect, who I think are doing a disservice to the quote unquote left as it exists in the West, which is like, again, grifting. Like imagine like really thinking that you're doing something for the cause and you are making a living begging for money from other wage slave dolts, and you get them to give you a little bit of money here and there, and you think you're like, literally go fuck yourself. That shit pisses me off. But like people who are doing good work, who are providing actually good analysis and turning people into more radical citizens who are actually changing minds. Like that's what I think Brett is doing. That's what I think Allison, his partner on Red Menace, like those people are actually providing a service. Inner City Left, like the people that we constantly talk about, Caitlin Johnson, the people we're always referencing, Edward Norton. Like there's so many great people out there who are doing really good work. There's just also a lot of fucking grifters. There's also a lot of really bad people. But like even good people like Brett can have like some bad takes. Like I just want to ask him one day if I ever talk to him again, like, what do you think about that take about like how valuable it was to vote in the 2022 midterms? Do you think that holds up now? Do you think like we really reduced a lot of harm there? Like, I just want people to start getting a little more serious about the whole militants and start saying like, we got to stop dicking around with this voting thing. We got to stop. Like, it's just not a serious avenue. We shouldn't even be discussing it anymore. And we shouldn't even be like talking respectably to people who do talk about it as if it is a serious thing. Like, give me a fucking break. Like, come on, like we got to get into big 2025 here. We have to get serious.
Yeah.
Like, but I did want to bring up this other thing real quick. If you guys have any other thoughts,
sorry.
we don't have to change the subject.
Oh, I just wanted to say one thing before we move on from there.
Yeah.
But like if you want to do electoral politics, right? Like I build a fucking in the United States, like plenty of countries.
Or pre-party formation, like something.
Yeah, plenty of countries built a third party within their electoral democracy and were able to extract concessions from the two major parties. But like every single fucking election cycle, it's actually maddening. Like as an outsider, like because I'm not in the US, I like watch this happen every single time, that every single so-called radical person just shits on every third party option. Every election cycle is like, no, a vote for a third party is a vote for the Democrats. We have to participate in this system. We have to vote for the
Fucking
Democrat.
zombies.
We have to go back and vote for the Democrats. Because listen, if Trump gets in power, he's going to do all the evil policies that the Democrats were also going to do. But also he'll do another one on top of that that's even more evil. All right. And that's why we need to vote in. and it's like, you fucking can't be helped, man. Like, I don't know what to say to Americans anymore. Like, basically every country in the world that has like like a bourgeois electoral system, they managed to like build a third party, and the third party like got good concessions from the two major parties that like made people's lives better. Every other country has managed to do that, but America is like the one country that is like, no, we won't do it. It's like, it's like, man, just fucking do it. Do it.
Like how frustrating is it watching these people not learn after sometimes 3, 4, 5 election cycles? They still have that same level of faith in those same institutions and parties. It's like, how are you not catching on? Like, it's really like, how are you not getting it?
I think part of it has to be like they just are not educated, and I think and I'm going to probably keep coming back to this, but like the ideological class war is massive, like the fact that Americans are so like our material, the material base that we have is that we're treat-er-lights just as a baseline, our labor aristocracy cannot fathom the struggles of people in the global majority. And to that end, we see any sort of like suggestion of like, well, why don't you guys form a third party from like another country or someone from who's another country? It's like, well, you don't know American politics. They'll try to throw it back or deny that there's anything that can be done through a third party. And I mean, like Lenin talks about how electoralism is fruitless and there's no chance of coming through with a Marxist revolution through electoralism. You cannot do it. It cannot be done. The way that they were able to have their revolution is that it had to get down to fucking like people being shot and killed in the streets. Like it had to be chaos and pandemonium, and the Bolsheviks had to be like, all right, now is the opportunity. Now we can take power.
Even then, man, I don't know if Americans would do anything, even if that was happening.
We're too
I'm sorry,
fascist.
but, like,
We're too fascist.
If you were literally getting massacred in the streets, people would be like, well, they should have just complied with what the police said.
It's literally like all Americans are fascists. The fact that the majority of Americans are just like, no, I like the ideological shit where our history textbooks are just pure anti-communist propaganda that like any Wikipedia page that you look up about Stalin or even China, it's like, yeah, they're communists, which means that they're totalitarian, which means that they're authoritarian. And it's like these fucking postmodernist buzzwords make me want to rip out my eyeballs, like I'm sorry, man. It pisses me off so much.
And I know I sound like I'm talking like from a position of being high and mighty whenever I talk about Americans, but like believe me, Australians are actually fucking worse. So like we're actually worse because we're worse because we have a high average standard of living than Americans. We're even less class conscious than Americans. we might be more accepting of like gay rights and things like that, but that's like the Europe, how like the Europeans are like more socially liberal or whatever. Like think of us like Europe in that sense, but like because we have free healthcare, because we have welfare and stuff like that, the average level of class consciousness in Australia is zero. It's fucking zero.
Oh, what's this?
Yeah.
Well, what I had meant to bring up earlier was that that parties are getting prescribed as terrorist organizations. Like speaking of starting third parties or organizations or militant orgs, even Palestine Action is prescribed as a terrorist organization in the UK, and so it's leading to all these situations where people are just getting arrested for placards, like literally for a billboard or like a sign that you would hold at a protest. Is it winter there now, Jared? What's going on?
Oh yeah, I'm fucking freezing, dude.
Oh my god.
I'm freezing. It's like 20 degrees in here.
This is so funny. Hold on, I gotta
Celsius.
share my screen.
Well, I don't know what that is in
How do
American.
I focus on
but-
Jared? No, make this guy big.
Yeah. There he is with his cute
check
jacket.
it out.
He's all parking up. Like,
Yeah, it's cold. I don't know what's 20. Wait, let me 20.
20 degrees Celsius.
It's 68 degrees Fahrenheit. I'm
Dude, I
freezing.
love 68 degrees. That's like
60 is great. That's like what I set the air conditioning to.
exactly.
Like,
Exactly.
What? That's so funny.
So that's like here today it was 56 all day, and as you like we started off the episode, I was talking about how I'm like wearing like a sort of like sweatshirt because it's like weird in like Western New York. We just got like a cold day randomly at the end of August, but enough with the weather talk. That's like very boring for people.
We keep going back
no,
to the
everyone
weather.
loves the weather talk.
The thing I
Everyone
was
loves
trying to I was trying to talk about these guys where let's see, hold on, let me share my screen here. So yeah, I mean, I just wanted to ask you guys, what do you think will be the result of all these people who are bravely holding signs and then getting let's see, more than 50 arrests at protests in support of prescribed group Palestine Action. This is a video from 9 days ago. This is just from Sky News. It's just like basic like mainstream media.
Yeah.
But that's what's going on over in the UK. If you just hold a sign that says, I oppose genocide, I support Palestine Action, that will get you arrested for supporting a terrorist organization. Meanwhile, like you said, Jared, waving an Israeli flag, no problem. No problem.
It's fascism. It's just 100% fascism.
I can play this video if you guys want. I wasn't planning on doing. I mean, let's check it.
Yeah,
out.
let's do
So
it.
two protests taking place today, Gurpreet, where you are, quite a number of arrests.
Where you are.
Yeah, it's just been arrest after arrest after arrest. The Met Police, in advance of today's protest, had warned people to consider the criminal consequences of their actions today, but those warnings weren't heeded. We've had about 50 arrests already, and before this even got started, at about 1 o'clock, there was a gentleman who was holding a placard saying, I support Palestine Action. The police came up to him, searched him and said, you're showing support for a terrorist organisation, and took him away. And from then on, it was just a stream of arrests. I was standing right here, and on my right, there were two elderly gentlemen sitting on the floor, shouting their support for Palestine Action. About 8 police officers crowded around them, took them away, 2 carrying the feet, 2 carrying the arms, the others surrounding them. And then just over there, I mean, you can't see it, but we've got some statues of Mahatma Gandhi, of some suffragettes. People sitting in front of those statues with placards saying that they support Palestine Action. Obviously, the symbolism, I don't need to tell you the symbolism of what that means. Eventually, after about 5 to 10 minutes, the police crowded around them and took them away. There was actually a woman.
Oh my god, it's getting really annoying.
Yeah, just the insane cacophony.
I don't know. So I mean, what do you guys think is going to happen as a result? Like, I imagine that the people who got arrested and then charged with offenses that would get them like dozens and dozens of years will probably get that reduced down to like reasonable sentences in the long run, get some like fines or whatever. But like, ultimately, is it like, I don't know, you guys think it's a brave act to go to a protest and then write a sign that you know is going to get you arrested and charged with like a long terrorist offense and then purposely do that? Like, I don't know if you guys saw this yesterday, but like, I think it was COINTELPRO or someone who responded to a tweet. And it was like all these people in Israel who were protesting the genocide, saying like, we want this to stop. We don't agree with our own government. People like burning their reservists, like draft cards or whatever. and she was like, actually going to jail and sucking your thumb when you were going to be handed weapons and access to the people doing the genocide, it's actually not like a really brave act. Or like when you protest in like a crowd of 200,000 people, which is enough to break the siege that is starving people, it's actually not the most brave thing you could be doing. You could actually just go ahead and break that siege with those 200,000 people. Like, and it's not to say that like this is the same thing, but like if you live in the West and your idea of protesting is to go camp out at your college and annoy people, or if it's to go wave a sign that you know is going to get you performatively arrested, it's like, is that actually doing the thing? Or is it the people who are like in Palestine Action who are like attacking Elbit Systems or like attacking Lockheed Martin or whatever? Like,
I think that I
don't know.
think that it is completely performative, like Tim Price was saying here. It is performative, and like it's idealistic, you know. Like I can understand, I can sympathize with the like rad lib or liberal or even like someone who considers themselves a leftist and they're like, well, I'm gonna go to the protest. I can understand wanting to do that. I can understand the desire, the want and the need to be like, I need to be out there to like make a statement and say something, but it is libidinal. It is libidinal, and it's just to me it's akin to anarchism, where it's like, oh yeah, I want to go out there and like be with my buddies while we chant something and walk down a road and then get arrested. It's like, you're not bringing any guns, you're not bringing any weapons, you know.
Well, hey, now we also can't suggest, we can't tell people to
I'm
go
not,
and bring
I'm
guns
not
to
suggesting
protest, but,
anyone
like,
brings. I'm not suggesting you should bring guns to a protest.
yeah, you're just asking the question. You're just saying, hey,
Yeah,
you're not
exactly.
doing that.
You're
by
not
the way?
doing that. Like, why aren't you? I mean, well, obviously there are lots of reasons to don't bring a gun to the protest, but like, there has to be some sort of militant organizing, whatever that militancy will manifest itself as, because right-wing fascist paramilitary groups can walk down the street with AR-15s waving a Nazi flag and say Heil Hitler, and it's fine. Because the cops are the same guys either marching with those jackboots, or it's the CIA that is monitoring them and letting them do what they want to do. But like it's the fucking COINTELPRO bullshit where anybody who even remotely presents a threat, a material threat to the standard way that things are, the status quo, you're getting bombed. Like the MOVE group in Philadelphia in 1985, getting their entire neighborhood bombed because they had a couple black activists, like militant black activists in that area.
They were trying to do a commune.
Yes,
basically.
and they were not hurting anybody. But what's the one quote where it says like,
That's how you learn the downside of doing a non-militant
exactly,
commune.
like the Paris Commune, for example, they did not defend themselves once they actually took fucking Paris. They didn't defend themselves. They lost immediately to Paris fucking military coming in and destroying their whole thing. In order for communism to happen, Marx is very explicit about violent revolution occurring, and I'm not going to shy
Did
away
you
from
guys-
saying that.
I assume you guys saw the video I posted yesterday of that guy who just like shot the dude in the wheelchair.
Oh, I
And,
saw
like,
that. Yeah.
It was so ridiculous. Like he swore that I guess this guy was accosting him because he must have started her, like the way that the story was presented to me when I found the video was that this white guy went up to this black man who was in a wheelchair and much older than him, and he started like grilling him about his supposed military service, accusing him of stealing valor, and then asked to see his ID. And when the guy wouldn't present his ID, um, the video part that you actually see, white dude is like 10 to 15 feet away from the dude in a wheelchair and is doing the slowest, silliest looking draw I've ever seen. He has like this silly backpack on. He swings it around to his front from his back, takes his time unzipping it, fumbles around, finds his fucking pistol, and then pulls it out and shoots the guy just once and then stops. And then he just like holds his hands up and says, "It's all right, everybody." He yells at the guy. He's like, "Where's your ID? Pull a fucking gun on me." And then like he like racks his slide, I guess ejects the round that he has in the chamber, and then acts like he's just not going to be a threat anymore, puts his hands up. But again, like there's so many things in there. First of all, the caucasity to just shoot this colored man in cold blood like
Yeah.
that. He was reaching for a weapon or just assumed that he was. Shoot him when he was obviously not a threat. Like obviously, you would have like the way people who conceal carry draw is not like that. That is not what people who are fearing for their lives do. That is what somebody who is like looking for an engagement, looking for like a reason to shoot somebody does. And it was so sick, like the way he did this. And he scared all these people. It was in front of a Starbucks. And then the way he just knew that he could like comfortably raise his hands and he was going to be taken peacefully by the police. They weren't going to come up and shoot him because he's the white
Yep.
guy. And I haven't followed up on it. Like, I'll be honest, hot take. I don't even have that much sympathy for the guy in the wheelchair because he's also a veteran. Like, probably a child killer, probably like killed some kids in Vietnam or something. Like, I don't. It's like fascist infighting as far as I'm concerned.
Yes.
And then people in the comments were trying to like dunk on this and saying like, "Oh, look, this is Trump's America. Look at this like far right Republican guy." The dude is a Democrat. The dude like also at a different occasion drove his car into like a crowd of Trump supporters at some kind of table somewhere. So it's like he's just a white supremacist Democrat. Like they're all bad. Like they're all just all bad people.
Yeah. And this is kind of like in the same sort of vein where like I also understand people seeing Luigi and thinking like, oh my god, he's a hero, when that's not the case. Unfortunately, he's not a hero. You know, it
Another thing I like to post about, like in addition to shitting on Hassan, is shitting on Luigi, and boy does it get the rad libs in the
Yes.
household. Like they get
like
so
like
mad.
where's your like, oh, did Luigi shooting the guy cause a revolution to happen? No. It just it didn't lead to anything. It, if anything, it led to more security. It led to the bourgeoisie being like, oh man, we got to be at least a little bit more careful now. You know, nothing material was gained from that.
Yeah. This is the other thing I pulled up before. Speaking of gun violence, speaking of like the atrocious conditions. So on the reading hour for today, I did a special edition one. So like every year, apparently China does this thing where they do a report on the human rights situation in the U.S.
Yeah.
And more power to them because like they nail it. Like they get us dead on, and yeah, they don't pull any punches. They do not mince words at all. So I asked DeepSeek to read that essay for me. If anybody wants the full text of the essay, I read it today. It took about an hour to get through, and it is scathing. Like again, they just nail everything bad that the U.S. is doing and has been doing, and all the conditions that have led up to it. They nail all of it. But I asked DeepSeek to just compile all the statistics, just and put it in like a table so that we could easily read it. And so on the left we have the category and the statistics. So on poverty and homelessness, over 40 million Americans, 40 million Americans live in poverty. More than 700,000 people are homeless, and homelessness increased by 18.1% in 2024 to 771,800 people.
That's lower than I thought.
And-
That's crazy.
Well, when I had read it earlier, apparently the increase from 2022 to 2024 or 2023 to 24, it was whatever the increase was over year, it was more than the increase in like 2007 to
Oh my
2008.
god.
It was like, which is crazy because that was like the financial crisis, and no one's talking about like some kind of that level of financial crisis right now. No one's talking about like the Great Recession right now or under Biden.
Mhm. And that's another. I mean, really, if you look at history, you'll see that every time there's a big economic depression in a Western capitalist country in the imperial core, there are fascist resurgences.
People get racist.
Yeah,
all of a sudden.
suddenly reaction happens, and then you suddenly have so many of these paramilitary groups that get fucking astroturfed, and then it's like, oh, well, that's weird. Isn't that weird? No, yeah.
Yeah. My mum's been to America, and she said when she went to, she was just shocked whenever she went to a major city in the States, and like, you'd just be like stepping over homeless people.
Yes.
Mm.
It is
Like-
just like that.
Yeah, your major cities are just like full of homeless people.
Yeah. It's really, really disheartening because so many fucking people, so many rad libs, and so many just like libs and conservatives and fascists in general, all part of the same, Western treatment group. They all will be like, yeah, there's a homeless guy over there. Don't talk to him. Don't give him money. Don't do anything because he's just going to go buy drugs.
Oof.
because they are not people to them. They're not human beings.
I was actually pleasantly surprised yesterday. I get like random notifications from like the Nextdoor app, and I mean the homelessness problem is not even just limited to major cities now. It's getting to all the like.
What's the next
So
door app?
Nextdoor app is like, I guess it's like a Facebook clone or something, but like broken down, like not as many features, and it's localized. So it's supposed to be like you sign up for it with your real name and your real email address or whatever, and then it's like you are limited to like interactions within the people around you, and it
Oh, that's
became
cool.
really Treatler-right really fast. Like it's known for being like a pretty conservative hub, and like people
Yeah.
are pretty reactionary on there, and it actually mostly gets used for like reporting suspicious activity that's poverty related in different communities. So the police,
Oh, cool. So they just made the
yeah,
cop
it's really
app,
bad. And but that's what I was gonna
basically.
say. Is yesterday I was pleasantly surprised that like somebody posted that there was a homeless man on a bench somewhere, and that they gave them like a sandwich and a lemonade from Tim Hortons. I was like, oh, well, that's nice. They don't see that every day. But like again, some systemic help would be better. But like, it's cool. It's good to see like that on the fascist app. But
Yeah.
yeah, the homelessness is definitely getting worse. And it's just wild again. The point that like I kept stressing when I was reading through this earlier is that it's a year old. Like they're talking about all of the stats that occurred before Trump even got into office. This is all just for the year 2024. It takes
Oh
them
my
that long
God.
to compile the report, and they're talking about it now in 2025. But like all of this is just for the previous year. So when we say that like Bidenomics wasn't working for people, and then all the people who insisted that it was, and that you were just like a Putin or Trump bot if you said anything bad about the Democratic Party and their economic miracle under Biden, um, yeah, here's the proof. Like it was not working for people.
Mm.
And also, like another thing, just I wanted to say real quick on the gun violence. It's like I think I've told you guys before on several occasions. Like I live in like rural New York, like Western New York. You're not allowed to have guns here. It's really hard to get like a concealed carry permit, but like you are still in danger here because like the amount of people I've talked to, like again, I told you guys, I got visited by the FBI twice. I keep all my guns in storage in Pennsylvania because I can't have them in New York. Like I'm going out of my way and spending money out of my pocket to be a legal, law-abiding citizen with regards to sporting goods and everything. The amount of people I've talked to who have said that like they or their boyfriend or husband or somebody that they know just fucking carries, like no permit, no nothing. They just
They just have it.
they just are committing a felony all day, every day. Like they are just a
Yeah.
fucking operating felon, and they just have a gun pointed at their crotch, just concealed carrying. I'm like, you motherfuckers, like you're just getting away with all this shit, like whatever, like crazy, man. It's really
I-
crazy.
I think in Florida, I don't I could be corrected on this, but I'm pretty sure in Florida they totally took away all like concealed carry laws.
Oh yeah, you're
and
probably
things like that.
constitutional carry now. So that's
Oh, it
that's what they
is.
call it. Constitutional carry is when they just remove the law, or they just never made one to begin with. Like Vermont, I think is a
Mhm.
constitutional carry, or New Hampshire, one of those two. It's like they just have never had a case brought to a state supreme court or to a level of court that would need to have a law made. So it just goes by the Constitution, which means like it's like don't ask, don't tell. Like we're not going to ask if you have a gun. Maybe you do. We're just going to assume you do. Everybody's going to go around being polite to everybody because everyone's assumed to be armed to the teeth, and that's just what they do.
Yeah, yeah, and that I remember I was in a Publix.
Welcome to
Um,
America, or this is America. Sorry.
I was in a local, not local, but grocery store, and this guy's over at the deli, and he's like this older dude who literally just has this like fat fucking piece on his hip, like just for
Oh,
everyone
like
to
open
see.
carry, like not even under the shirt.
It
Yeah.
is open carry here, like
Yeah.
literally it is right there, and like I am like, somebody come get this guy. Like this guy could just shoot at the place at any second. At the drop of a pin.
Yeah.
And it is so nerve wracking. As somebody like who is just like I appreciate having the great equalizer, as it is called. I understand and being
Jared,
and,
you
and
gotta
I
mute yourself
support
when you
that.
do that. What are you doing?
Pardon?
You gotta
Oh,
mute yourself
sorry.
when you do that.
Sorry, hold up. Sorry,
Oh, sorry, I was taking my pants off.
sorry. You guys are talking about guns. I can't relate.
I know.
I'm
I
like-
just had to take
like-
mine out here. Hang on.
You're like, yeah. Anyway, you guys are like, oh, I went to the shops and I wanted to buy some groceries and there was another mass shooting and I'm like, I'm over here. I just can't relate. I'm sorry. I just like, Like,
Man.
when I go to the shops, I'm not constantly fearing for my life.
Yeah.
I don't-
And that adds to the like zeitgeist. That adds to the tone and the mood here, where you go outside and there is always a chance that someone could shoot you, probably a cop,
or just
but
somebody LARPing as a cop. Like as we've seen, like people just they don't do citizens arrest now. They just do citizens murder. They just citizens shooting in the street.
Well, isn't part of the reason why your cops kill so many people, besides the fact they're racist slave patrols, is like they do kind of think everyone has a gun. Like they approach every interaction with a citizen like,
Yeah.
they're
oh,
trained.
what if this person has a gun? I need to be like ready.
Yeah.
And that's why they'll just pull out a gun at the slightest provocation and shoot you dead. And because they know they're legally covered, so they don't give a shit if they kill you. Like, if it's like, oh, I made a mistake, it turns out they weren't armed. But the only important thing is I thought they were armed, so I'm legally covered. Like, I'm pretty sure that's my understanding of how it works.
Is this what you were laughing at, Joseph? This is a funny comment too.
Yeah, I was laughing at that. That's really good. Jared, you're so right, man.
Yeah.
I hate it here.
Yeah, but you guys, like, I think I brought this up before, but you guys are talking about how, like, those videos of, like, traffic stops, which are, like,
Oh my God, dude,
when your police walk up to a traffic stop and they, like, stand behind your window, they're, like, back here, and they're, like, got their hand, like...
Oh, they're ready.
Yeah.
They're ready to pull it out in, like,
they're
0.3
doing
of a
that.
second.
Meanwhile, in Australia, when the police pull you over, they'll, like, put their head in your window like, hello, mate.
Good eye.
Yeah, they'll be like, good day, mate. Time for a breathalyzer. Do you have do you have your beer license? And they'll yeah, I don't know. It's just
Well, I only
it's
had
re-
like 2 beers. It's fine.
yeah, that's the standard response. You always tell them whenever you're getting breathalyzed, they ask you, had any beers tonight, mate? And you go, yep, just 2. And then they
And they're like,
breathalyze.
Everybody
oh.
has just 2.
That's
Yeah.
fine. I mean, I feel like that's an Australian like thing, right? Where everyone is just kind of always drunk.
That's the stereotype. That's what they say. That's what they say. Not me though. Not
You're
me.
straight edge.
I'll stick to my. Yeah, I'm straight edge. I'm only on ADHD amphetamines like a normal person.
Another statistic from that China report: drug overdoses, 105,007 drug overdose deaths in 2023. They got those 7 people in there. It wasn't just 105,000.
Well, that number is definitely an undercount.
I mean, those 7 people are important. They are 7 human beings, to be fair.
Yes.
And then nearly 9 million Americans misuse opioids. They also went in depth talking about how, like, it wasn't like an American report where they just say, oh, this drug thing, it's just a problem we're just dealing with. Who knows, They went in depth saying that, like, diseases of despair, drug addiction are caused by the inequality that is a result of the inefficient government that continues to act in the interest of the corporations and the wealthy rather than in the interest of the mass working class. And they were not pulling any punches, not beating around the bush, because it's China. They attacked the class aspect of it. Like they literally said, it's because the U.S. does not care about its citizens that many of them turn to drugs because they have high debts in either like real estate or medical expenses. They just turn to drugs, and they're like, yeah, that's just what happens in America. Like, you guys just suck. Sucks for you guys. Sucks. It's really sad, you guys. It's really bad.
It's like this is our bi-weekly commiserating over the awful state of things.
I skipped over a bunch of them. Like, I have 3 tabs of these graphics here. Like, the first one, I had skipped over the food insecurity, the gun violence part, because we were already talking enough about that. They had said, I'll just do that one. Gun violence is at over 40,000 gunshot deaths in 2024, 503 mass shootings in 2024, 45 school shootings in 2024, 32 in K-12 schools alone, and over 1,400 children died from gunshots. This is all just 2024.
Dude. Being a substitute teacher, it is a genuine part of the job where I have to know where the exits are, and I have to be prepared to block the door or to shield children with my body.
Have you had to do any of the drills, or do you not really have to do them as a sub?
Oh, I've had to do drills. Yeah.
Yeah.
You pretty much you have to. They give you like a folder that gives you like the layout of the school and everything, and like here's here's your plan, man. Here you go. Like here, and you study this basically in case something happens.
Mhm.
And it is just like I don't get paid enough for this shit. Basically, like this
Yeah.
is and now they're designing schools. Well, they have been for a while now, but the way that schools are constructed, they're built like Doom levels or like Wolfenstein levels.
Mm.
You know, like you have to have these corners where if there's a shooter there, then it's like Unreal Tournament. You know what I mean? Like
That's
I don't know.
crazy.
I'm showing my age, but
No, I
it-
mean that's wild. Like, and it sucks that these shooters are also raised on video game shooters, so they're like training for it in
Yeah.
real time.
yeah, and like I'm a gamer. Like I'll just come out and say that I'm not like whatever about it. But the people who end up being school shooters, like
Our gamers.
the gamers, the gun violence.
you know,
is
the gamer
so
kind,
deeply.
yeah.
It is so deeply ingrained. I mean, like you've got incels, school shooters, gamers. What do they all have in common? They play games where they fucking shoot people. And like, I'm not trying to sound like a fucking,
Sound like Tipper
uh,
Gore, but no, you mean it's the
yeah.
right wing ones. It's the fucking racist ones. It's the ones who actually do not have a sense of community because they feel alienated, but they also don't have like any kind of class analysis. So they internalize it and then they just hate everyone around them. And it's wild because the amount of people, again, who have thought that I'm going to be some kind of mass shooter because I said, actually, it's disgusting that most Americans are complicit with genocide, that they were willing to vote for one of the two parties who expressed their intent to continue doing the genocide or who had already started that genocide. And people are like, oh, what are you going to go like shoot up a bunch of people, Mike? It's like, no, I'm not an
No.
individualist terrorist like you. Like you are inserting your own fantasies onto me because you're a stupid piece of shit human being and you hate the people around you. But I think you are disgusting people and I want to leave and I want to have you guys wallow in your own misery that you made for yourself and fully deserve. It's a whole different thing.
Free speech enjoyers when you use your free speech.
Wow. Oh, man.
Dude. Yeah.
Yeah.
I once again, I'm going to say it again. I hate it here.
Speaking of
Jared,
hating here,
Can I come live with you?
healthcare
Yeah,
inequality.
if you want, they got plenty of. No, fuck off. We're full, mate. Fucking.
Jared's hospital now.
Yeah, I know.
Me and my
Honestly,
wife
one thing
in
we
their
don't,
closet.
one thing we don't need here is more fucking Americans.
No,
Like,
you
honestly,
don't need Yanks. Sippos.
yeah. We're just like,
Fair
fuck.
enough.
Nothing ruins my day more than hearing an American accent in the wild. Like talking to you guys is fine, but like if I'm in a cafe or some shit and I hear an American accent, I'm like, fuck. Oh, they're gonna say something. They're gonna say something stupid.
Yeah.
Yep.
I just listen.
Pickles 123. You're so right, man.
He's been popping off in the chat, saying some good stuff.
Yeah, it is absolutely no coincidence that Call of Duty is like the most popular video game amongst reactionary young white men. You know what I mean? Like it is the video game.
I saw the
Yeah. Exactly.
something was trending on my like Google the other day about the new Call of Duty game, and it was like, or Battlefield 6 or whatever, but it was like Battlefield 6 list of guns leaked. And that was the news item, and I was like, what are their new fucking, how many guns are there? Like, are there new guns? They come out with new ones? Like, I figured we'd already made them all. Like,
Oh, no.
how do you...
That's a whole new thing. There's always new guns.
Yeah, and
Really?
the artist will design like, oh, this one is like a new like high tech like sci-fi like near future kind of gun if it's like set in like modern day or like thereabouts.
Jared, in addition to doing a night where we just watch that Jubilee stream, we should do a whole night where you just ask me and Joseph questions about guns, like from an Australian's perspective, and like it would blow your mind. Like I remember also blowing my liberal friends' minds when I showed them like an AR-15, and then I was like, yeah, you can actually just mix and match them. Like they're all just like they're like Legos. They're just compatible. You can take two halves of different AR-15s from different manufacturers and just pop them onto each other. And they're like, what? They couldn't believe that like all these different companies were working together to manufacture rifles to the exact same specifications so that they can all be like intercompatible with each other, like down to the smallest of parts. They were like, why are they, it sounds like communism. Like, why would they work together so willingly? It's like, because there's a lot of profit in it. And Americans really like buying guns and really think that they need lots and lots of them. They really
Yep.
love their gun toys.
It's
Yeah,
like
we should-
it's like customizing your character in a video
Yeah,
game.
dude. Yeah.
It's like, this is my self-expression. This is my one way that I can.
It's my special interest.
Yeah, it's my autism special interest. I have a million guns, and this one is like highlighter yellow
I mean,
for some reason.
that is absolutely a real thing. The amount of dudes who are just gun fetishists, but they're autistic and undiagnosed. Oh boy, whoo boy.
Yeah, it presents itself in different ways with men and women.
Can
Oh,
you
I
guys
was-
carry
ahead,
knives?
sorry.
Can you have
Yeah,
we
knives?
can
carry knives.
There's very little. It's like as long as it's not wider, like the blade is not bigger than the width of your hand, you can just have that on you at any time.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
I carry a
That's
knife with
fucking
me.
crazy. I can't. No,
Wow.
so I get arrested if I carried any kind of knife in public.
Really?
Yeah, even hidden. Like
You
the
have no
police-
freedom.
You have to have a valid. You have to have a valid. The law is you have to have like a valid reason for having
Yeah,
anything
What do
that
you guys?
could be a
What do
weapon.
you guys call knives over there? Stabby woo.
Yeah, bloody Wimbly woos, mate. Bloody.
This is my cutter, mate.
Yeah, this is my cutter. Yeah, no, you can't have shit here, and like I don't know what your self defense laws are like, castle doctrine and stuff like that. It depends on the state, I'm guessing, but here it's like reasonable force. They use the term reasonable force, and then anytime there's a self defense thing that happens where someone gets injured or killed, it goes to court, and then they have to they analyze the whole event to try figure out if the force was reasonable or not. And often
geez.
they'll be like, that force wasn't reasonable, you're a murderer now. And it's like, oh, okay, right, that's
Mm.
cool.
I feel like that's a good system. That's the way that they're doing it. Like that
I mean,
makes
if it
sense.
actually
Kind-
works out that way, like you'd have to look at the
Kind
proportions.
of.
Like if it's like around half the time that people get convicted of murder as opposed to being self-defense, that would make more sense than here, which is like, oh no, you can just shoot somebody in a wheelchair at point blank range or like standing 15 feet away where they couldn't possibly attack you, and you're probably going to get away with it. Like,
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
it's pretty good because it stops a lot of things from starting at all because you know that there's a good chance you're just going to be convicted of murder. But like, there have been instances that were clearly someone acting in self-defense where they end up getting thrown in prison. It's like, oh, okay, well, I guess this is why in Australia people's attitude is kind of just like, don't get into a fight ever. Don't
Yeah.
do anything ever. Just, yeah.
How do we reconcile this as socialists, as communists, guys? Like, because the whole American gun issue is kind of this terrifying monster to me, and I don't even know how to like approach it.
They're pacifiers for you to suck on.
Yeah,
That's
That makes
literally
sense.
it. They're just for Americans to suckle on and pretend they have some kind of freedom over themselves or their own lives, but they don't really. They think this
Yeah.
having a gun gives you some kind of control over your life. Or, oh, I'm going to use this in a defense scenario. Oh, I'm so powerful. Nothing can oppress me. I'm so free. I could overthrow the government if I wanted to, blah, blah, blah. But in
Don't tread on
reality,
me.
in reality, it's like, no, every aspect of your life is controlled by the government and by the corporations who control your government. And also, like, if it ever came down to it, you have no weapons training, you would get fucked in the ass by the government. And also, like, you would like, the gun itself is just a commodity. It's just more shit for them to sell you. They're selling you
True.
these companies are selling you this idea of freedom in the form of what is just Warhammer, basically. But it's a gun. Like, it's a collectible. It's like your collector thing, but it's a gun. Like, it's
Yep.
this idea. It's free. Imagine if you commodified the concept of freedom.
oh yeah,
Like,
that is
Yeah.
America.
go into a gun subreddit or a gun forum and tell them about drones and watch how fast you get banned or shouted down, and they act like they've already conquered that problem. Like I've done that, and they're just like, well, the drone has an operator somewhere. It's like, do you know where that guy is? You don't know where that guy
Yeah.
is. Like that guy is very far away. That guy could be 70 miles away from your house. The drone is destroying you. Like you're fucked. Like you don't know where the drone operator is. That's how it works. Like,
Man, speaking of drones, like that just you made me think of being on Reddit, like once upon a time, like during the earlier stages of the Ukraine war, and just seeing footage, like video after video after video of Ukraine drone footage of just killing Russians. You know, like and it's supposed to make them seem so small and insignificant, because Ukraine has this like, yeah, we're fucking powerful, man. We've got drones. We're killing all these Russians, you know,
Orcs.
and the orcs, yeah, like it's literally, and it looks like Mordor because the land is so blasted. It's a blasted hellscape.
Yeah, it's trench
It looks like
warfare.
it looks like it looks like a movie. It looks like All Quiet on the Western Front. It's so crazy, dude, and it's just so like all the comments being like, yeah, Putin deserves this. All these Russians, they should have thought about this instead of messing with the Ukrainians. Slobber ukulele or whatever.
Stop ukulele. Shibbles says gun retention here would spark revolution faster than wage exploitation. That's the general mentality here, but that's also why they will never do it. They'll never do some kind of like mass confiscation of guns. Like another thing that liberals will talk about
That's
and will
so
circle
true.
jerk back and forth about because they have no real solutions. They're like, well, what do we do about guns? Like we have to do something about all the mass shootings. We have to do something about all the gun violence. And it's like, well, the thing that you would do would be to ideologically go after the people who are committing the most mass shootings. You'd have to go after right wingers. You have to go after white supremacists. You have to go after the incels. You'd have to go after the toxic males, and they're never going to do that because they're also the people who fetishize about guns the most and would actually start reacting in violent ways if you started doing that gun confiscation. Which again, there was no political will or any political actors who would do that. Like it just
I
does not
think
exist.
most of you would. I think most Americans would just hand their guns in if they did gun confiscation. I think, and I think the people who wouldn't would just hide them on their property. And
Yeah, that's what they
act
all
like
do,
they're doing. They would just hide them somewhere. That's what happened when we did. So we did gun confiscation. We did a gun buyback scheme in like '96 after Port Arthur massacre. Everyone just handed their guns in. Like we don't have the psychotic culture around guns that you have, but like everyone just handed their guns in, and anyone who didn't hand their guns in, like one of my relatives put his pump shotgun in a wrapped it up in like a plastic bag and shoved it in his up in the gutter in his house. Like that's what'll happen. No one will have you won't have people marching in the streets overthrowing the government when they do a gun buyback. It'll just be like the libs will hand their guns in, and then the conservatives and the gun nuts will just hide them. But they're not gonna.
It's the boating accident meme. Like it's
Yeah.
so disappointing how people like are literally broken down to catchphrases. Like if you want to find out how to debunk the anti-China narrative of the West, just Google the words "at what cost." If you want to find out what conservatives do with their guns when they're even slightly fearing some hint of confiscation at some decade in the future, look up tragic boating accident. Just Google those words, and it's nothing but dudes, boomer dudes with beards, circle jerking about how they've hidden their guns all over their property or their friend's property or somewhere in the wild, and they saved the coordinates somewhere. Like you're never getting rid of all the guns that are already in circulation in the US. Again, the only way to seriously go after the mass shootings would be to target the ideological or societal consequences or causes of those things, which is the fucking impoverization. It's the alienation that people are experiencing.
Yeah, and like I remember, I was having an Uber ride one time from this dude who it was like midnight or like 1 a.m, and he immediately took out his gun.
Oh yeah, you were telling us. Yeah.
I might have talked about it
Yeah.
before. And he told me that his grandpa had like an underground facility where he just had hundreds.
Insane shit, dude.
It is so insane. Like, how can that's what I think one of the comments, the hobby mainly for the white upper classes. You get so rich that you're like, man, I can't buy more land. I'm just gonna make a fucking bunker that has all of my guns in it. And I have a whole range and everything. It's like you guys are LARPing as Deus Ex,
People-
like it's so
Yeah.
crazy.
Some people, I know some people who do that kind of thing here. Like I have a relative who, like, whenever I was staying at their house, they would insist that I park my car instead of I park my car on the street normally. They would insist that I bring my car in so that they can lock the big gates, that they have like these 8-foot tall gates and stuff. And it's like, oh, so no one breaks in and steals the cars. And it's like, and I'm like, or alternatively, I could park my car on the street and my car doesn't get stolen, which is what happened. My car never gets stolen because cars getting stolen is not really a thing, because you're just a psycho who watches too much Sky News. You think there's a crime epidemic when there just isn't. Like, that's it's all in people's fucking heads. All of this shit. Like the people who buy all the guns, the people who have the compounds, the people who have the bunkers, they're preppers, all that. It's all in your fucking head.
Yeah.
It's all
not
made
even-
up.
And again, speaking of stories we've told before, I told you guys about the fucking vegan landlords over at Blackbird Animal Refuge, and
Yeah.
how somebody turned around in their driveway once, and immediately the dude thought he needed a gun. They live in fucking New Jersey. They live in the farm, rural woods area of New Jersey, and they thought that they needed a fucking gun because somebody turned around in the driveway. I'm like, if that does not explain your mentality of white privilege and how you know you are impoverishing people so that you can prop up your fucking charity toward rescued animals or whatever. It's like you're being landlords. Like you're landlords and impoverishing human beings so that you can do your little charity Snow White bullshit where you rescue some pigs that were going to go to slaughter or something. It's like you know on some level that you are impoverishing people and immiserating others, and that's why you fear for your safety and security. Like you know that. Like you're bad people. That's the whole thing. Like just the fucking insecurity that these privileged people feel. Like
I had to work so hard to beat that kind of shit out of myself. Like, where you do view sort of other people in that way. If you did see a car in the driveway, you're like, oh,
Yeah.
you know,
We
I
need
like you
7
have
more
to
Ring
beat that
cameras.
shit out of you because that's the mentality of the society that we live in. Where you basically have to, the default is you are like those people who think they need their gun because someone's in their driveway, or they feel fear, or they feel like they have to lock their car up in the compound at night. Like that's the default. You have to like beat yourself out of it.
Yep.
Like, because it's not, you have to beat it out of yourself because it's like not going to go. Like
But
that's the only way you can get
in
rid
some
of it.
sense, like if you observe just the actually declining conditions, like it's not an irrational thought to think that like if you are in a position of privilege, that is going to become increasingly rare, and people are going to start at some point wanting to take that from you because conditions are not getting better for everybody. Like I'll go back to some of these statistics here because I did want to like just do like a let's do like a rapid fire round. I'll just read a couple of these and see if they spark any other discussion. But like, so immigration and border crisis, not that that's like the cause of crime, but like migrant deaths in El Paso, Texas rose from 72 in 2022 to 168 in 2024. Again, this is under Biden. This is before Trump got into office. So this is just people who are trying to get here and who die in the process. Over 500 migrant women died at the border since 2021. 14,000 plus cases of solitary confinement in immigration detention. And when I read through the longer passage about it, like some people were in solitary confinement for up to a year. A lot of people were in there for more than a month at a time, and it causes like obvious like mental health consequences. Let's see, what is the other one?
Concentration camps, basically.
Literally. And again, this is like what was happening when Democrats and liberals were not paying attention. Because again, like all the communists said that Democrats were not going to do anything about the kids in cages once Biden got in office. They were just going to forget about them, and that's exactly what happened.
I mean, just wait for America to do what they did in World War II with the 120,000 Japanese put in internment camps. We're gonna have 120,000 like Chinese put into
You guys think
internment camps.
you guys think Gavin Newsom is going to abolish ICE when he gets elected in 2028, or do you think he's just going to let that ride?
He's a Nazi, just straight up. He's a Nazi.
Is he gonna run? Is he gonna run as the Democrat?
I mean, that's what they're talking about now, but because it's 3 years away and Trump is probably not
Nah.
going to even step down, it's probably not going to be him. It'll probably be somebody different.
Trump's not gonna. Trump's gonna have a third term.
I hope he
He's
does. I
having-
hope he has 5. I don't give a shit.
He'll
Yeah.
either have a third term or he'll challenge the results of an election, and then there'll be some power struggle. You know,
I mean, it was just
like
the video today. He was talking to Zelensky, and he was like, "So wait, when you're in a war, you can't have an election." And Zelensky's like, "Yeah, you know, you got to suspend the election, you know." And he's like, "So say 3.5 years from now, we're in a war. We might not be able to have." He was like literally saying this in the White House, right next to Zelensky.
he
I love how fucking stupid Trump is. Just like I
fuck?
just watch the gears turning in his head in real time. He's like, hold up,
Wait a second, you're saying
bro, haven't you figured?
you're saying that
Yeah.
we're not gonna have to have an election because we're gonna be at war. You're saying this is my good friend Zelensky. He's not going to have an election. We're not going to have an election. This is real democracy. And you know what? Someone's got to be strong and someone's got to do it. Someone's got to change my diaper.
Are you
know?
telling me that in the state of emergency, the individual, the dictator, becomes the sovereign, and that it's the dictator who determines the state of emergency? After all, that's crazy.
No, I think they'll run in 2028. The Dems will run like AOC or someone like that. Like,
But yeah, that has
that'll
been
be
another
the background for a
fascist.
while.
Yep.
they're going to run AOC. I don't think Gavin Newsom or Buttigieg. I think Buttigieg is like a charisma black hole. Gavin Newsom is also a charisma black hole. Like, they're not going to run those guys. What they'll do is they'll run AOC because she's really good with like crowds and she has the charisma. But her platform will just be like a Obama style thing where she runs on like, oh, I'm going to fix everything, and then obviously when she gets in power, she doesn't do any of
Yeah.
that.
I mean, she's
That'll be
she's already like Kamala 2.0, basically. You know,
Yeah.
she's gonna be like, well, actually, we need to continue sending military arms to Gaza because it's necessary to protect the Israelis. We need to protect Israel's interests. And it's like, didn't you say you were a fucking communist like a while ago, like a long time ago? Like, what? Call me crazy, but that's like, I don't know, man. That is insane a level of opportunism, you know, like class position or just grift
I
in
could
general.
see. Is Hassan gonna be 35 in 2028? I could see like a Hassan Piker and AOC
Oh
take
my
it, like him
God.
as her vice president. Imagine that shit. That would be unstoppable.
Dude,
They would never
That-
go for that like targeted millennial like or Gen Z vote. Like that would be way too young. They would have to go with like some old people that people don't like to like, mitigate it somehow.
we need concentration camps in the United States for all old people, for all white people.
Hassan will be like a mainstream CNN guy in like 5 years' time. That's what I think he'll be. He'll be like who's John Oliver, or who's that guy
Oh yeah.
who's the liberal version of Tucker Carlson? Like,
Yeah, Jon
Uh,
Stewart or John Oliver.
Jon Stewart,
Yeah,
yeah.
he'll be like one of those guys in like 5 years' time. He'll have a show on CNN. He'll just give up the grift like entirely.
Again,
They'll
you
have
guys
to pay
wonder
him.
why I spend all this time calling out grifters, making my little fucking grifter list, circle jerking with myself. It's like, this is what I'm talking about. It's like there are so many people who, when you press them, outright admit that they're not activists. They're just in this to build an alternative media career for themselves. They're just literally out there to like get in the like. I think it was Taylor Lorenz who said it. She was like outright. She was like, "No, I'm just trying to build an alternative media. Like, I'm just trying to build a career out of this." It's like, okay, go fuck yourself. You're like leading people to voting Democrat again. That's all you're doing.
See, and it, it's better because making a career out of talking about how utterly fucked we are as Americans is really hard, like for you and me, Mike. But like this is, if you're gonna have principles as a fucking Marxist, you gotta be like ready to just be like, I'm poor. I'm poor for the rest of my life.
It's hard if that's what you're trying to do, and you're also not willing to play the game. Like, it would be a lot easier if we just platform the shit is bad narrative. Just like literally every day, just like shit is bad. Here's the headlines about why shit is bad today. And then maybe, I don't know, even vaguely gesture at some kind of form of resistance to say like, oh, we're gonna do it, you guys. Like we're gonna show Orange Man or something. Like do the Olivia Juliana thing. Like do the I don't know, the radical therapist or whatever the the people in my
Yeah.
like it's not hard to sell t-shirts. It's not hard to. Here's a hot take. Who is Seasters Jones? Everyone follows this person. Who has ever seen this person? But
Dude,
they have a platform on every social media site, and if you follow the links back to where this leads to, they sell you t-shirts. Who is this person? Like, why do we all trust and like repost this person? Who the fuck is Seasters Jones? Like, who the fuck is this person? Who the fuck?
T-shirt
Like,
seller.
Yeah, their merch. They're an AI bot.
I don't know who this
Yeah.
person. I've never seen a Seasters Jones. How is that a name? Seasters? What is this? Like,
I have thought the same thing. I saw their posts and I see them fairly regularly. I'm like, okay, yeah, like I agree with that. Whatever. This like generic, resistance sort of thing. But it's like,
watermelon profile pic, vaguely.
who are you?
Who is this person? Like,
It's going to be so funny when we're all caught out that we've all just been reposting like an AI bot
Yeah, like-
that's been making
An
AI
aggregator.
generated. Yeah, that's been aggregating leftist content and just putting it on there, and we've been all just reposting it. And it's like it's an account, it's an AI run by like Mossad or something. Like it's like
but again, that is just to say, like, it actually is easy if you just want to build up a following. If you just use a bot to like repost the interesting things you find on Twitter to other social media sites, you can do what Seasters Jones or any of these other like grifter accounts do, and then you never have to like give anybody the next step. You never have to tell them like, hey, this is how you actually combat this. It's actually vanguardism that has only ever worked to combat this in any kind of meaningful way. I don't know. I sound like a
And
broken record again, but
I keep thinking about the fucking the Finnish Bolsheviks Discord where Mike,
oh yeah, we both
you-
got banned, right?
I got like I tried to talk about socialism with Chinese characteristics with them, and I just got immediately like demoted to like not socialist. Like you've got the blue name, you've got the label that says you're not a socialist.
Yeah.
You're an idiot. You're actually a fascist. And it's like I remember someone being like, "Why are you even here?" I'm
Oh
like,
my god.
you guys are the most like terminally online Western Marxists I've ever seen in my life.
They got really
Um,
mad. Like I've seen this happen in a couple different servers, and that's what makes me half conspiratorial. Like it makes me suspicious that it's like bots or feds or whatever. But then it makes me remember like they are just terminally online kids. Like they're just young kids who are idealistic, and
mhm.
it's so hard to tell the difference between people who are like acting as bots, like because they're doing the Western narrative of like every other country besides the US is way worse, and you can never support existing socialism, past, present, or future. Um, or
Yep.
they're just actually kids who are buying into that narrative and repeating it for free because they have the time on their hands. And it's like that's what I genuinely think is going on in the Finbowl server. It's like they will never let you talk positively about socialism with Chinese characteristics, Vietnam, Nicaragua, Bolivia, Ecuador, like any country that has had some kind of success, Cuba, nowhere. You cannot talk about it and praise it because they have to be objective and honest, like critical Marxists, which means they have to say all the same negative things that liberals say about those projects, and then go back to supporting imperialism in their real life, like with their actual
Yep.
material.
Yep. And then they'll like try to quote slam you where it's just like, actually Stalin said this, and then Lenin said this, and actually you're misinterpreting Lenin, and I'm a scholar. And it's like,
Mm.
you're a fucking you're a they them profile picture.
Oh no.
No offense to they thems. I'm sorry. But it's just the fact that it's like an impersonal character that is telling me that I'm not a Marxist. You know what I
I
mean?
was gonna say it's usually anime profile pics that do it the most. But
That too, man. Like I remember being like, wow. So none of you are gonna like. I remember I shared Roland Bohr's book that I was reading. That Jared knows the guy. Like he like has hung out with him and gone to
Oh,
like
yeah.
things. And I was sharing some of that, and someone was trying to read through it and being like, this guy has. You said that he has a bunch of sources and he cites a lot of sources and quotes a lot of things. That actually doesn't mean anything. Here's a bunch of quotes as to why that doesn't make any sense. And I'm like,
Oh my
you
God.
are a fucking contradiction.
the
Marx
important
would
thing
not be
to-
happy.
The whole important point about that is that the end goal is that they just want you to stay miserable. It seems like they don't like I've asked them a bunch of times like what is the goal that you want people to do? And in their minds they say that they want people to create some kind of actual internationalist proletarian working class movement that doesn't depend on oligarchies that are capitalist in nature like Russia or any of the current anti-imperialist bloc. They want them to like
It's idealism. You
yeah,
know?
it just doesn't exist and it can't exist. Like it would, they want them to create some kind of like internationalist vanguard that would immediately be dismantled by things like Interpol or like any of the international anti-terrorist organizations that exist purely to dismantle organizations like a socialist vanguard in the West. Like you'd have to proceed with that knowledge. Like you'd have to like when we talked about MK forever, we talked about any of the existing modern socialist vanguard parties. We never got to like the IRA, but that's probably another like modern one that's like closely related. But like you have to proceed knowing that the intelligence agencies are inherently against you. Like that's what they exist to prevent you from doing, and then you got to proceed knowing that. And like nobody's even like on that level or talking about doing things on that level. And then people come into our Discord and say like they get called feds if you even mention that. And then like the liberals start telling you like, oh, so what do you think we should do? Just go like bomb a bunch of places and do a bunch of terrorists? Like, no, bitch, you were saying that. Like you are the Hunger Games fantasy people. Like you're like the immature teenagers who can't envision anything that's like a militant organization that is actually organized or anything like that. You guys are inserting your terrorist, individualist, adventurist fantasies because you're losers. That's
Mhm.
not what we're talking about here.
Yep, absolutely.
All right, we can we can wrap it up, you guys. I've been babbling enough. Sorry for like dominating the stream. I wanted
You're
to hear
fine,
more of your
man.
guys'
No,
opinions, but
You didn't dominate.
any like last thoughts before
I
we
like
wrap
being
it up here?
dominated. I like being dominated.
Oh yeah.
No,
All
this
right,
was really fun, guys. I love doing this with you guys. Love going live and having a lovely chat and all the banter and all that. It's great.
Yeah, I think next time we can talk some more about any other current events. I think I had some other things on the docket. We did want to talk more about Hassan in depth, but I think we covered enough of the basic talking points.
We've got to watch.
You
the-
can
we
always
should
talk
react-
about them.
Next time we could react to the Jubilee video. I think.
Oh yeah, let's
that'd be
do that
pretty
sometime.
fun.
That
Yeah.
sounds fun.
Yeah. Even though it's
Alright, well, that
old
one's not
news
going
by now, but
anywhere.
whatever.
Yeah, it's not going anywhere. I think it'll still be relevant.
Yeah.
It'll still be aggravating for people. So,
Yeah.
all right. Well, thank you guys.
Awesome.
Thank you everyone for joining in the chat. Thank you as always. I'll see you guys again soon.